kill your recruiter. Now Dreamstalker comes into play. There's no recruiter there.
Oh, okay. So it's just like
just
redundancy.
to have the redundancy. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my guess.
That makes some
again,
sense.
I have not played the deck. I've only seen it a few times.
All right, get in for 4 with Mutavault.
Yeah, Ian able to.
And he's got another is that a date? It's another Mutavault in his hand.
Does, yeah.
He's going to play it. So he's going to be representing lethal, but it looks like Martin's going to be able to go off. Now,
yeah, this is
sometimes the stage of the game where the one player just says, look, I have my combo, but I think that this is a combo that you probably need to actually run out there.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, Allurin
so
is
let's
going
make
to
some
resolve
room. So we
here.
get to see this happen.
Right, so he's going to go, okay, that resolves. All right, play Recruiter for free off of the Allurin.
Yep.
Now Ian can copy Recruiter here. This is kind of interesting.
How does he copy it?
He can flash in the Phantasmal image because it costs less than 3. The Allurin is symmetrical.
Oh, sure. So he can go get
copy
one
Recruiter,
other guy.
get something. Yeah. Not quite. So okay. So here goes. Martin is searching for another Recruiter. Plays the other Recruiter. Now I believe it's third Recruiter. Now this Recruiter is likely going to get the fourth one. Okay, now this last one is
a very valuable board state.
It is, right. That's about $1,200 worth of cards between the Oracle and the Allurin. Okay, so Dreamstalker comes
That's
into play.
That's a Dreamstalker right there?
So Dreamstalker is a 1/5 for, I believe, a blue and 1. And when it enters the battlefield, you have to return either a creature or a permanent you control to your hand. And it is a permanent, yeah. So he returns. Once that resolves, he returns a Recruiter, replays the Recruiter.
Harpy.
Recruiter now searches for Cavern Harpy, which when that comes into play, he returns the Dreamstalker, and now here we have the loop, right? So he can.
There's a Cavern Harpy. So
well, the loop is coming up. So once he's got the Dreamstalker back in his hand, now he has to play the Dreamstalker, return the Recruiter to search for Parasitic Strix.
Yep.
So okay, replay Dreamstalker. Now he has to bounce something back to his hand.
So basically, this is Ian just sort of figuring out, like getting an idea for what his deck's going to do. He knows he's going to lose this game at this point because nobody would go to all this trouble to not just win right now. Yeah. He's like, I made 4 1/1s, you know.
Right.
Like, maybe he should just be on elves.
So he bounces Recruiter off of the Dreamstalker.
And there's the Strix.
Replays it, searches for Parasitic Strix. So can you put that on the screen for us?
Parasitic Strix, yeah.
Ooh, that is not.
I remember that card. It's from Shards, or I think it's actually from Conflux, but
yeah, I think it is a Conflux
from Shards
card. We're
Black,
gonna find out momentarily.
Conflux, one of my favorite sets. Yeah.
And
so it's an artifact creature. It's a blue artifact creature. There
it is. It's a blue and 2. It's a 2/2 flyer. When it comes into play, if you control a black permanent, target player loses 2 and you gain 2. Yeah. So the combo has happened here, but we'll explain it. So he plays the Parasitic Strix for free, drains Ian.
Because he controls a Cavern Harpy.
Right, he does control Cavern Harpy.
Which is a black permanent.
Right, and then now he can pay a life with the Cavern Harpy to return it, and then replay the Cavern Harpy again for free, which forces him to return a blue or black permanent. You have it right there. Return a blue or black creature you control to its owner's hand. So hey, I have a blue creature. It's a Parasitic Strix. I'll return it to my hand. I'll replay it for free. Drain you again.
Right.
Back and forth. Right.
Yeah. So for every iteration, he loses a life to the Cavern Harpy, but he gains 2 from the Parasitic Strix. Meanwhile, his opponent loses 2 every iteration, and he just kills him.
Exactly.
So that was pretty sweet. We got a chance to see, a fully developed situation there. Like, Martin took his time. He used Cabal therapy well. He blind named Lord of Atlantis. That was nice.
Right.
And then he was able to basically control the game in the sense that he knew what his opponent had in his hand.
Right.
He also had Force of Will if anything really bad went by, but frankly,
he didn't face much disruption that game. The only disruption he faced was on the table.
2
curse catchers.
Yeah.
Right. It was very easy to play around because it was right in front of him.
Yeah, and he just said, look, I know I'm going to lose one of these to this, so here, do you want to do it? And the guy's like, no. Okay, sure. And the other one, he's like, yeah, we'll counter that one. Okay,
So it's, as you saw, facing very little disruption, it still took him a few turns to actually put things together. It's not the, what turn is it? Turn 2, LED, and, just infinite mana, cantrips, and suddenly, Tendrils of Agony on turn 1 or 2 that you see from Storm decks. But, those decks can try to go off on turn 1 or 2 and then just fizzle or just one little disruption. You can get, a Lotus Petal countered and be like, well, that was it. You force of willed my Lotus Petal, and that in the middle of me trying to go off, and I needed that mana.
Yeah,
I needed that.
That was the
it.
thing we needed. Yeah.
And so
yeah, this combo seems a little bit more robust in that way. He has multiple ways to search for it. He can do things in between to help disrupt his opponent and help set up his combo. That being said, it's pretty slow.
It is pretty
like he
slow.
doesn't have that like, oops, I made a turn 2 Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
You know, or sometimes you'll see Storm combo go off on turn 2 or something where they get an ideal situation. They can use Lion's Eye Diamond to just go off. This deck seems to be much more of about. I mean, this deck is running Coiling Oracle, right? Like,
right. 4 copies.
This is a much different type of combo deck, I think, than some of the really fast ones that are out there.
Yeah, so it's it's an interesting choice, and I think another reason why we don't seeing play so much are those white bordered Imperial Recruiters we saw.
Yes.
Which are pretty costly because
those are not cheap.
Obviously, they're a major part of the combo. You can't
Yeah.
play this particular iteration. I was going to say you just can't play Alluring combo.
Probably
I
not.
don't
Maybe there's
think
another
so.
version, but you
Right.
can't play this one.
Yeah, you can't play it without
and you
Imperial
need
Recruiter.
4.
You need all 4, right?
Like you need to be able to intuition and have one be dead or countered. Like you cannot,
Yeah, so it's an expensive deck just for 4 1/1s.
It has a lot of the other sort of staple cards that we see in Legacy, like the 4 Force of Wills. Those carry a cost, but people don't mind investing in Force of Wills.
Because it's a staple. It's in
Yeah.
so many decks.
For example, both decks that we're seeing here play it. So
I mean, Force of Will is a very, very wise investment if you want to play blue in Legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the first thing you go, okay, I want to play Legacy and I want to play blue. All right, first thing you go for are blue duels and Force of Will. And then you can kind of start branching out from there where you're like, okay, I have blue duels and Force of Will. Where do I want to go from here? That's the start of a lot of decks.
Yeah.
So I think.
And the end of a lot of decks apparently is like Coiling Oracle and 1/5s for 2.
Alluring, which is not in any decks but this. And Alluring is like a $5 or $6 card.
Right.
So that's not, that's not breaking the bank. But,
Intuition's kind of expensive.
Intuition, what
it's
is it, like
$35,
$30?
something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
It's interesting because I think at one point they weren't too expensive. I mean, they may have been 15 or 20 or something, but last summer when Hive Mind started to kind of become a thing, Intuition started getting a lot more popular, and so that's gotten that price kind of sticking up a little higher.
Okay. It seems like a powerful card.
Ian didn't seem to be too familiar with the combo, considering he was reading some of the stuff.
He was reading a lot of the cards, and like you said, this isn't a deck that you see even that often. I mean, you've covered a lot of events, and you haven't seen it, or maybe
the second or third time I've seen it.
Yeah, so it doesn't come up very often. Yeah. And he looks like he has a fairly straightforward build here. I like the 2 Phantasmal images; those are really cool.
I love that they see play in Legacy.
Well, I think it's neat because like they can clone a Lord, and then they pump each other, which is great.
Right.
But also you can use it to like kill a Grizzlebrand.
Exactly,
now.
yeah.
I mean, to be honest, the damage is probably done by the time they get a Grizzlebrand. But that being said, this deck is disruptive and quick, and they can make at least slow down something like a Grizzlebrand from coming in.
And if I knock you to 6 and then you get Grizzlebrand,
then Image seems much better.
Right. Next turn you're going, all right, well you land Grizzlebrand and your plan is, all right, I get a swing so I can gain them some life so I can draw some cards, and then they go Image your Grizzlebrand.
Yeah.
All
right.
That works.
Let's get back to the match. Turn 1 Curse Catcher again.
Where have we seen this before?
But look at that, he's got an
Sea.
Underground Sea. What is going on here?
Let's take a look.
Does he have some hand disruption maybe in the board? Or see 2 Perish.
Yeah, that's the first card, and then he's got Dread of Night.
What is that?
Which I believe Nick Spagnuolo was the first one I've seen play that recently. It's a 1 black enchantment that white creatures get -1/-1. Now that's not too relevant in this match.
That's
but
like a nod to Maverick or something.
Yeah.
Like kills Thalias
kills
and
Mother of
Runes.
Kills Thalia. Yeah. So turn 1, Curse Catcher from Ian. Turn 1, Blue to Delta into Underground Sea from Martin. I'm going to Cabal Therapy. And I'm not sure exactly what he named. Oh, I think I lost my mic again. I did. All right.
What would you name here? I mean, I guess it entirely depends on your hand, right?
Yeah.
If you're trying to combo off, you name Force of Will or something like that.
Yeah, you start thinking, do I want to...
If you just don't want to die, you name Lords and the like. Is Ian tanking here about whether if he should...
I think he's tanking here as far as as far as whether or not he wants to sacrifice that Curse Catcher.
Okay.
And in that case, Cabal Therapy is kind
Oh,
of...
he's got a daze in his hand as well, so
okay,
he's
so
just
he goes
going
with
to daze
that.
here. Yeah.
He's going to daze. Okay.
All right.
And I think if I'm Martin, I'm fine with that too. Like I just got a daze out of your hand. I set you back 1 land drop.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. And he has disposable creatures as well. All right, attack with Curse Catcher, and pass the turn back. We do see a couple of Force of Wills. It looks like, oh, there's a standstill. We're going old school here.
Yeah, now this is cool. This is, there's a Coiling Oracle from Martin.
Which is going to allow him to flash back. Ooh, and he gets to play his land too. Man, Coiling Oracle's getting some value here.
Yeah, it's a great card. And
Flashback
it's unfortunate that...
Target you and name. If he names Force of Will, he gets 2, which is very sweet.
Right, now here's something important, and I saw it almost happen in the match I was watching earlier between Martin and his opponent, where he goes, I'm going to play Cabal Therapy, and his opponent says naming, and he names Swords to Plowshares, and his opponent goes, all right, I'm going to Brainstorm, and he's like, no, you can't do that. Once there's a name, that's it, the spell's resolved. You don't name the card until your opponent has said it resolves.
But if your opponent asks what you're naming, doesn't that mean that it's resolved?
To me, is indicated, exactly, that's the whole thing.
So it's both sides of it.
You asked me if it was what I was naming, that indicates that you resolved.
Right.
Or that
it's the same thing with Pithy Needle, right?
I think so, yeah, the same kind of concept.
Yeah, you I play Pithy Needle, and people will often be like, I play Pithy Needle, naming
and you're
library
like,
of blah, blah, blah.
Thanks for letting me
and
know,
like,
so I can now counter it.
All right, so he named Lord of Atlantis, which there weren't any.
No, but he saw, I believe, Double Force, Standstill, and Underground Sea, I think, is still in Ian's hand.
So if Martin looks like he's going for a black source, does he have another Cabal Therapy in his hand? Oh, it's getting tapped. He does, except for this one's going to get Curse Caught for sure, right? Or forced or whatever.
I think Ian has to...
like you just lose both of your forces if you don't do it? Martin's happy either way. He either kills a creature...
Yeah, in this case, go ahead and get your guy off the board.
Yeah, get your guy off the board, or 2-for-1 you. Because, that's one of the things about Force of Will that a lot of people think that it's just this amazing, free counterspell. But man, you got to pitch a card. That counts.
That's interesting.
Silvergill Adept goes away. What happened?
Rather than just, I guess he wants to keep a force. That's all it was about. He wants his Curse Catcher to stay, and he wanted to keep a Force of Will, so he used 1 Force of Will, removing Silvergill Adept.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
just
I don't know if it's the right play, but I can see it making sense.
It makes sense the more I kind of say it out loud, but I feel like what I expected.
And that's still stop everything.
That is why I think he wanted the Curse Catcher to stay on board. I want a threat, and I want to play Standstill and just be able to keep hitting you until you break my Standstill.
Yeah, you might be right. Although,
you see,
as far as threats goes, that is not an amazing
Not
one.
much of a threat,
So we're going to see what Martin's plan is for Standstill here. He can just sit here and build up his mana base and set up his combo and then crack it eventually, or he can just instantly, he's just doing it.
He's cracking,
He's just giving him the cards right now.
I mean, you kind of have to just
another force off of Standstill. That means that he can, because the way that Standstill works is once your opponent puts a spell on the stack, it triggers.
Right.
And it resolves before the spell resolves. So right now, Coiling Oracle is on the stack.
Just making sure I'm not losing my mic again.
I think you're okay. And those Force of Wills can counter it if he wanted. All right. Did you see what Martin drew? With the Oracle? I missed it.
I missed it too. We were looking at my mic sliding down.
Yeah, well, they got to be able to hear you.
That's true. Okay, so what we can see in his hand, he has Dreamstalker. He's got, I believe he has...
A Savannah or something. All right, and then we see a Verdant come down.
Did I see Peacekeeper? That's not crazy.
That would make perfect sense.
Yeah,
that would make actually really good sense because, I mean, can Ian's deck deal with a Peacekeeper if it's resolved?
Not really. I mean, Peacekeeper is a tough nut for Merfolk to crack.
Peacekeeper's sweet.
Yeah.
It's a 1/1 for 3 that says creatures cannot attack, right?
Yeah, basically. You have to pay a white and 1 in your upkeep.
Yeah.
But
it's not cumulative.
Right, it's just a white and 1. Creatures cannot attack your creatures or their creatures. But that's a heck of a wall.
And as it turns out, everything. Martin isn't planning on attacking anytime soon.
Yeah, he's just gonna drain you.
Plan A is not get in there with Coiling Oracle.
So Dreamstalker returns the Oracle.
Oh, look at this! He's getting some extra value here, just sort of 2-for-1-ing.
Yeah, and he plays 2 copies of Dreamstalker, so he's still okay right now, even if he loses that one. But that's a nice wall too.
It is a 1/5.
It's a 1/5. Yeah, you forget about the fact that it has power and toughness.
Yeah, that is weird.
Silvergill Adept from Ian.
Reveals the second Curse Catcher. Martin's going to write it down just so he doesn't forget.
And Ian draws his card. Didn't quite see what it was. It looked like Psychotog, but that's not what it was. It was actually Aether Vial.
Second Curse Catcher comes down. Ship the Z-Turn back.
Yeah, Standstill was very popular.
Is
in
that
Merfolk for
Aether
a while.
Vial?
It is an Aether Vial. In Ian's hand, yes.
Yeah, it's just too late though, huh?
Well, I mean, it's still fine.
Okay.
It's just not anywhere near as powerful as it was.
He also has nothing to cast with it in his hand. Anything.
Yeah, it's not very impressive at this point.
Yeah.
So there's a flashback in Cabal Therapy. Off of he played Coiling Oracle, revealed Brainstorm off the top, got to draw that, and then immediately flashback Cabal Therapy with Coiling Oracles, which he sacrifices there.
Okay.
And we don't know what he's named yet because we don't know whether it's resolved. Now Martin knows that there's at least one Force in Ian's hand, so I'm assuming he's going to name Force if Ian gives him the opportunity to name anything. And he named Force.
He named Force, and he just took them both.
Yeah, that was...
Wow.
And Martin's like, cool, got an extra one. Thought I was just going to get the one.
Yeah, so I mean...
Show me your hand. And we can't see his hand because he's hiding it under our coverage, but we know there was an Aether Vial. I don't know what the other card was. I believe it may have been a land. It's Scalding Tarn. Okay. And...
I see a Life from the Loam coming down here.
Yeah, there is a
It
Life
looks
from
like
the Loam.
Martin's pretty happy to grind out here, man. He is just getting little 2-for-1s here and there. Coiling Oracle.
Yeah.
Cabal Therapy, 2-for-1. Play Life from the Loam, 3-for-1. Like,
it's a lot of 2-for-1s happening.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not actively moving towards his Allurin combo necessarily. You know, he's still, getting things together, but right now he's just grinding out Ian. Now, Ian does have 2-1-1s and a 2-1 currently, so, he's going to be able to start hitting for some amount of damage, but he can't really just suicide his Curse Catchers in here, right? Or any of them? I mean, they all die to that 1/5?
Yeah, if I'm Ian, I'm like, I don't know.
You just say
my
go.
opponent's at 15. Yeah, I guess I just...
Ship it back. All right, so Martin's thinking. He was considering, brainstorming there, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if Ian's trying to find, buy time until, or just hope to draw a Lord so that his Curse Catchers don't die and his Silvergill Adept doesn't die to the Dreamstalker, so he can just start swinging in, get one, just a bounce off of the Dreamstalker and the other two get in, kind of thing.
All
So
right, brainstorm main phase. I think that
sees Gitaxian Probe go for the throat
and Allurin.
Was it Allurin? Okay.
I think so.
So that's...
I think he might have already had an Allurin in his hand, though.
So he's then in this case, he just needs to find what, Imperial
Recruiter, I guess,
or unless he has Harpy Strix already.
I don't think he
does,
but I know he has like at least 3 lands in his hand. He's going to be looking to get rid of those, and he does.
He knows Ian's one card in his hand is just a Scalding Tarn because Ian played the Wasteland he drew this turn.
Okay.
Gitaxian Probe you. I mean, he's just drawing a card here because he knows it was Scalding Tarn. Didn't quite see what he drew though.
Do you see that Peacekeeper for sure in his hand?
Yes.
Now, is that Wasteland an issue? Because I think that white source might be Martin's only.
Yeah, he's got that one Savannah.
So he can resolve Peacekeeper, but then Ian just blows up that Savannah, and next thing you know, the upkeep cost can't be paid. I think.
Yeah, that would basically be a fog,
Yeah.
Or not even,
well, not even.
if Ian has the Wasteland available once the Peacekeeper is...
Well, it is during upkeep, right? So it would still be a fog.
It would stick around until upkeep.
Yeah.
So it is a fog.
So it is a fog at the worst.
So there's the Lord that Ian's been digging for, finally finds it. So he plays the Tarn.
Mirror comes down.
And plays Mirror Regery, which resolves, and now he can swing in. That's exactly what I was thinking. Now his guys survive. He can at least, okay, so Martin obviously blocks the bigger one and takes 4 from the Curse Catchers.
But that's a clock.
Yeah, that's something. 4 damage a turn.
So we'll see if Ian gets sloppy and decides just to wasteland for no reason. Looks like he doesn't. He's not interested in that though. Fire Spout.
Wow, that was that's a blowout.
Going to be a bit of a sweep here. He has enough to pay for both curse catchers as well, and looks like he's just going to make him pay the white, pay that one, and completely wipe the board, except for his 1/5.
Yeah, my 1/5 sticks around and I'm going to attack you. I love they push it all the way over and touch your mana base.
Yes. Get in the red zone.
Now, this isn't relevant now that he's cast the Fire Spout, but it may be in a few minutes. But something that, remember, Martin has life from the loam, so if he loses his white source, he can always get it back.
But not in time.
No, I mean, it would be a matter of, he would have to, it would be a little slow way to do it, but if he fogs for a turn.
He fogs for a turn, but then the Peacekeeper gets buried or whatever, sacrificed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
yeah, he can't recast it.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he'd need to...
You need to have a second Peacekeeper, which he only has one.
Upkeep, that thing. I mean, he could do like a Volrath Stronghold and loop it.
Yeah, it's
not impossible.
No, Fire Spout works much better.
Yeah. Pass the turn back, emphatically.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what Ian drew, but he, I believe, has already played and he played and cracked the Tarn.
Yeah.
But he just has that one card in hand. Furiously digging for a Lord, finds it only to lose it to a Fire Spout on the following turn. That's pretty rough. And then to be attacked by a Dreamstalker just to rub it in.
All right, so Allurin, he's just like, you know what, I've had enough. We're just going to play out Allurin. Now, currently...
I think he does have a second Allurin in hand as well. So he's almost like, did you draw a counterspell? Are you attacking?
Oh, look at that. He shipped the turn back and he said, are you sure you don't want to attack?
He's like, no, I just wanted to do it the turn I Fire Spouted.
Yeah. I mean, I think he should have attacked.
I mean...
There's no haste, right?
I don't think there's any reason.
Oh no, there is. There's an Aether Vial now. Not that it matters,
yeah,
but
that's a good point. Yeah,
whatever. Like,
I forgot all about the vial down there.
Intuition.
So intuition from Martin looks to have resolved.
He's going to get some red cards here.
This might be it.
And he's just going to extend the hand.
Ian's like, you're getting recruiters.
Yeah. GK takes it down.
So that's one way the combo decks can win without actually doing very much.